Good morning, coding friends. Hope you're having a great day. We're going to start looking at lesson 15 and those keyboard inputs. So let's go ahead and jump into the slides, give you an idea of what we're going to be looking at before we jump into the code. So as a warm-up, what I'd like you to think about is, so far all of the programs you've written run without any input from the users. So we hit the run button and that program goes ahead and runs. How might adding additional user interactions make your program more useful, effective, or entertaining? And then that second part of the question, how might a user provide input into your program? So take a minute to think about that. Pause the video right now and go ahead and think about that. All right. Hopefully you put some thought into this about how adding that user interaction might make your program more useful. Well, think about it this way on that usefulness. If I had a calculator and as a user I couldn't put in the numbers I wanted, how useful would that be? Just have random numbers being added, subtracted, multiplied, or divided? That wouldn't be very useful. And it surely wouldn't be very effective, would it? If I'm trying to use my calculator that doesn't allow input to do my homework, that's going to take an awful long time and probably never get me where I need to be. And entertaining. Is it very fun to watch something where we're not interacting? Think about a video game. If you wanted to play a video game, but you didn't have any input into the character, it might not be very entertaining. And how might you add or provide input into your program? How could a user provide that input into your program? Well, if you think about a lot of things, if it's a calculator, I can push those number keys and put it in there. Or if it's something like a video game, if I'm playing on the keyboard, often I use those arrow keys, right? Or maybe the mouse to control things. So several ways that we might want to allow people to use our program. All right, so as you work through this lesson, think about how can our programs react to those users' inputs. Your objective, what you should be able to do at the end of this is use conditionals to react to keyboard input. Remember, those are our if statements. And we should be able to move sprites in response to a keyboard input. Aha. So that's kind of our little intro here. I'm going to jump out of the slides and jump straight into code.org. And here we go. We start with a prediction, okay? So it says, see if you can predict how the down key, okay, key down key, block works and will not. So don't write any code. Okay, make a prediction. So if you looked up in here, there's a place for us to write our answer. And it says, run this code and observe what happens when you press the space bar. So we have this. I can tell that we're going to get a white background. That's in the draw function. We're going to have something pop up in the center because our text align is center. So our X is centered and our Y is centered. Text size is going to be 100, so it's going to be fairly large. And we're going to do something with the space bar. So type in there what you think is going to happen. Now, I'm not going to do this one for you. I want you to look through there and be a little bit surprised. Moving on to level 2. Once you get that, let's go to level 2. All right. So here we go. It says changing sprites. This program uses the keyboard block, the key down block, to detect whether a specific keys are being pressed down. It says do this Run the code and try pressing the P and the H keys. Look inside the if statement to see how the code works. Add a block inside the third if statement to change the animation to a different animal. So here we go. It said P and H, so I've got a giraffe on here. I hit P, and I get a little pig. I hit H, and I get a hippo. And then if I look, if I look down here, we got an R key. So if I hit R, I get a rabbit. Now you guys aren't going to get that rabbit. And if we look in the animation tab, I can see that there is a rabbit in there, but it's not called in our program. I'm going to start all over so that I'm in the same place you are. All right, here we go. I'm going to hit run again. P for the pig, H for the hippo, and R for the rabbit. But oh, there's nothing in there. Well, here's the way to look at it. If I hit R, what do I want my sprite to look like? I want it to look like a rabbit. So I'm going to go up to sprites. I'm going to set that animation, right? And our sprite is named Sprite. So I can just go and choose rabbit. Close that. There's my rabbit. Okay. Reset run. And I'm going to just jump right to the rabbit. Now, can I ever get back to that giraffe? No, I can't. I could code that real quick. I'm going to drop in an if statement. I'm going to go into world. We're going to grab key down. And I want G for giraffe. And I'm going to make my sprite look like the giraffe. So now when I reset run, I can hit R for rabbit, G for the giraffe, P for the pig, and H for the hippo. So I can go to any one of those characters. Something fun that I just added there, that last little if statement. We didn't have to do it, but it was kind of fun. Let's go ahead and hit finish and jump over to level 3. All right, so here's level 3. On the close act, it says it's attached to something else. It says you can change your sprite's position based on key presses in the same way you change this animation. Good to know. It says add an if statement. You can see I did that. Inside your draw loop to check whether the right arrow key has been pressed. Okay. Add code inside the conditional to move the sprite right if the right arrow key is pressed. And it says, do you need to change the sprite's X or Y property? Well, let me see. I'm moving to the right, so I'm going to start over on the left, and I'm going to the right, and I can see that X is counting up, okay? So I know I'm going to add, and my X is counting up. So it's that X position. So let's run. We got a little ladybug here, and we're going to make it go to the right. So this is what we're going to be programming. Yours don't do that yet, but we'll have it there shortly. Restart. I'm going to start over. That might mess up some of the other examples I had for you, but that's okay. We're going to go into control. Going to drop in our if statement, right? It said add an if. I just did that right there. It says check whether the right arrow. So we go into world. We find that key down, and we want the right arrow. So that says up. I want it to say right. There it is. And we already talked about it. It's our X position we want to change. So I'm going to go to sprite. And its name is bug. So we better put bug in there. Now, I want it to move the right. And if I remember correctly, that's the counter pattern. So we want to add math. Remember, bug.x equals bug.x plus or minus something. In this case, we're moving to the right, so it's plus. So I need to grab sprite.x again, bug, and I'm just going to put it at a 1. I'm going to hit reset run, and there he goes. He's off to the races. He's not moving very fast. We could fix that if we wanted, right? Just make that larger, but since it's a ladybug, I'm going to leave it pretty slow. So go ahead and hit your finish. We're going to move on to level 3. Or sorry, level 4. All right, this one's pretty cool. Remember those gears we had? It says, let's make the gears spin only when the space key is being held down. So I'm going to do that. I've already done this one. You can see that when I'm pushing down the space bar, it starts moving. I let go, it stops. Down, moves, up, stops. Kind of fun. It says we need to add code that checks whether the space key is being pressed down. Move the code that makes the gears rotate so that only they rotate when the key is pressed down. All right, so I'm going to go version history. We're going to go way down to start over. Here we go. Run. Those gears are just working all the time. We want to give it control. So I know that I need an if statement if I want to use the key down. And we want key down. And it said the space bar. So I'm going to grab the space bar. There it is. And then it said just move this stuff inside. So I'm just going to pull it up and drop it in there. And I'm just going to keep the same order. Reset run. It's not moving. I push the space bar. There it goes. Stop holding it. Stops. Goes. I like that. That's pretty fun. Moving on. Level 5. Now here's the thing. This one's a lot of fun. We got the fish back. Now I'm not going to restart this one, but I got these bubbles going. Remember this one? I put bubbles and I put a little bit of a wiggle onto my orange fish. I'll do the blue fish next so that you guys can see how I did that, okay? So he went across. Here we go. Here you can see if key left, the orange fish is moving. Let's see what it says. Add an if statement to check when the left arrow key is pressed down. Move the conditionals for moving the fish inside. Holy cow. There we go. Now I only have my orange fish on here, right? But if I had my blue fish, I wouldn't want an if statement. I would just want to like the bubbles. I would move them in there. Okay, so here's bubble 1. Reset run. Now one of my bubbles is moving, but I added the other. I push the left key, my orange fish moves, and look, there comes my bubble. It's going up. It stops when I let go. So I put my bubble up in there also. I'm going to pull that back out. Now it'll go up on its own. See them both going? Very nice. Now, we're going to jump in. We're going to look at this debugging the turtle movement, okay? This one here, we got this turtle. He'll move up. Oh, let me reset run. He moves up. He moves down. He moves left or right, but he does not move to the left. So if I go in here and look, here's my left arrow. So I know it's got to be something in here. Okay, it's in this if statement with the left. And if I look at all these, I can see up and down. That's on my Y. I look at my left and right, and that should be on my X, but something is missing. I bet you guys can figure that out. Okay, go ahead and finish that one. Head back into level 5, and there's this C. Debug why the turtle does not move at all. So here we go. If I look at this one, look at what he's doing. He's just kind of wiggling, but he's not going anywhere. What's going on there? Jump down. Oh man. I see a lot of stuff inside the draw loop, but I'm not seeing stuff outside the draw loop. Remember, I'm going to jump back over here. There should be stuff inside the draw loop and stuff outside. So pay attention to what you're putting in and out of your draw loop. All right, then here's your assessment level, okay? This is the purple one. It says move in all directions. You can make a simple game that moves the sprite around the screen. So here's my flybot. I should be able to push up and he should go up, down and down, left to the left, and right to the right. And that's going to go in here. They've given us an idea of what should go in each one. So I know I'm going to use a control, and I would drop that in here. And this first one says left, so I know I'm going to go to key down. And I would put left, and then I bet it's something like the counter pattern. If I need, I can always go back and look, okay? So program that so that he's going up, down, left, and right. And I'm going to show you guys one of my favorite levels on here. You got this key down click counter. I would give that a look. But this one here, whew, this one is a ball. I love this one because we can give our character a little bit more animation. So you can see my fly is pointing to the left. So when he goes, whoa, he changed when I pushed the left key. He went left, but he looks like a ladybug now. Now my ladybug's going, oh, it's still a ladybug, but it's going the wrong way. Whew, we can fix that. If he goes up, he turns into a fly. If he goes down, he's a bee. Let me show you real quick. We're going to fix this, okay? So just the same thing you did in the last one, up, down, left, right, but my left and right, I can tell that I mixed those two up. A quick, easy way to fix that, show text, change my left to a positive and my right to a negative. Go back, you can see my blocks, reset, run, when I go. And there we go. Okay. All right. I'm going to jump off here. I hope you enjoyed our session today. Have fun and happy coding.